Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking. All right, so shout out to everybody who is in the building early. It is good to see each and every one of you. If you can hear me okay and things look and sound good on the screen, please give me a thumbs up or a radiation emoji in the chat. If you cannot hear me or things look and sound bad, please give me a thumbs down or an angry face. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to shout out everybody who is in the building early. All right, shout out to my man Cameron Jones. What's good with it, bro? Shout out to my man Carlton Way. Good to see you as always, bro. Shout out to Telegram. What's good with the Telegram? And shout out to Tedra. What is good? Good to see each and every one of you. All right. So here's the question. How many people have heard of the T app? If you guys have heard of the T app, give me a thumbs up. If you have not heard of the T app, give me a thumbs down. If you have not heard of the T app, I would encourage you to do a little bit of light research about it. Shout out to Carlton Way. All right. Carlton Way made me the chief researcher at Strange Investments. I've been asking for a raise. For some reason, I'm only getting paid 50 cents an hour for this job. I guess it's because, the assets have to be reinvested into crypto, I guess, right? But we're going to talk about the T app, all right? The T app is an interesting app. Of course, one that you can't buy any cryptocurrency on. Is one where, from what I understand, women who are in the dating world, quote unquote, give tea. And they give tea about the small group of men that they share in the dating world. All right. Information from if these individuals are passing around STDs, if these individuals are, quote unquote, undercover, not a blanket, right? And if these individuals are displaying infidelity, all right? Now, here's my question for you guys. Amongst people using the T app, how long until there's a T app related crime? I want you guys to put your guesses in the chat as to how long you all think it will take before there is a T app related crime. Okay. How long do you guys think it will be before there's a T app related crime? Shout out to DJ Elmo. What's good with it, bro? Next thing we got to talk about. I don't know if this is a social media trend or not. All right. But how many people have heard of the delete your grandparents trend? If you guys have heard of the delete your grandparents trend, give me a thumbs up. If you have not heard of the delete your grandparents trend, give me a thumbs down. Now, I want to ask you guys in the comment section, shout out to you all, a question. How many of you all have just ever had the burning desire to get your grandparents up out of the paint? If you guys have ever had that burning desire, you just want to just take your grandparents off the planet, give me a thumbs up. If you have not had that desire, then give me a thumbs down. We're going to take a look. Shout out to Tedra. Tedra said, I'm about to log off. This is too much. It's way too much. It's way too much.
New details tonight at 10. One family says they won't have peace until the teen arrested in the death of a 93-year-old grandmother gets convicted. His arrest took more than a year and a half. Your news leader has been digging deeper into his past tonight.
Police will tell you he's been busy, and we found out he's been accused of even more crimes since the death of that grandmother. WRG's Brian Didlake has been following this story and has the very latest. And Brian, what else have you learned?
Well, Greg and Stephanie, the suspect, Darian Taylor, was brought in by U.S. Marshals. But when we looked into Taylor's past, we learned that he had charges from not one state, but two.
I was relieved for my family because there's always the threat with him on the street that there might be some violence against a family member.
For more than a year and a half, Ronald Harris says fear of retaliation was a constant for his family. U.S. Marshals sending out this image of the capture of 18-year-old Darian Taylor. Taylor is accused of killing Harris's mother, 93-year-old Geraldine, and injuring two other family members back in January of last year. At the time of Harris death, Taylor was 17 and now 18, but since then he has racked up several charges in 2 states. The first, WRG learned, was out of West Memphis in January of this year, where Taylor and others were arrested for theft after a series of smash and grabs. Fast forward 4 months to May, we saw Taylor end up facing even more charges, theft-related, just days apart. The first incident, Taylor was accused of stealing a firearm from a home prior in April, but was found with that same weapon during the recovery of a stolen vehicle. He posted bond, but less than 5 days later ended up back in trouble after being accused of stealing Mercedes-Benz vehicle parts in a separate stolen vehicle, which had not yet been reported. But Harris says outside of Taylor's troubled past, a more serious concern with the court process.
The police knew, but they couldn't bring the case because the court said, nope, you got to have more evidence. You got to have more evidence. And that took a year and a half.
The family says that's the amount of time it took to get back key DNA and ballistics evidence. The Shelby County District Attorney's Office has been championing faster processing times. Last month, the Shelby County Commission approved $1.5 million that will get the ball rolling on a local crime lab. The commission also okayed 4 additional scientists to work at the state crime lab in Jackson, solely working to help solve Memphis crimes. Right now, evidence is sent to the TBI crime lab in Jackson, which takes more time.
We have to move forward and stay on top of the court system to make sure this case moves forward.
Now, can I ask you guys a question? Why would someone be motivated to delete a 93-year-old woman? Where does the motivation for that come into play?
And now WRG has reached out to both the Shelby County District Attorney's Office as well as Memphis Police to see if there are any updates about the pending crime lab. We'll let you know when we hear back from them. For now, we are live here in downtown Memphis. Brian Bidlake for your news leader, WREG, Channel 3.
All right. Okay.
What do you guys think about that? Terrible, right? Now, we're gonna take a look at 2 videos here. All right. Here's another interesting situation. Okay. Yeah, shout out to DJ Elmo. Facts. Look at how beautiful the grandma looked in the picture. How can anyone do that to her? Yeah. Make it make sense, bro. Make it make sense. Now check this one out. And shout out to everybody watching. I appreciate you guys. If you all haven't smashed the like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you have not hit the bell, please take a moment, hit that bell, and also please share the stream to your social media. Check this out right here.
Brevard County community correspondent James Sparvero. In West Melbourne, we're getting our first look at the grandparents who the sheriff's office says were murdered by their own grandson. George White was 83 and his wife Mary White was 81.
80 years old. 83 and 81. Now, you know, when you get to those ages in your life, you never know how long you have left, right? You never know how long you have left. But the shortening of the amount of time that you have left is much more obvious and evident at those advanced ages than it is in your youth up until you're what's considered a quote-unquote young adult. Now, here's the question. Again, why would somebody do that?
I'm your Brevard County community correspondent James Sparvero. In West Melbourne, we're getting our first look at the grandparents who the sheriff's office says were murdered by their own grandson. George White was 83 and his wife Mary White was 81. This happened Wednesday night here on Washington Street. The sheriff's office says the grandson, Jeremiah Campbell, shot his grandmother first. And then when his grandfather, George, ran across the street to a neighbor's house for help, they say the 22-year-old grandson shot his grandfather through the neighbor's front door.
Now, can I ask you guys a question? Shout out to Leonard. What's good with it, bro? Why is nobody outraged about this? I'm not going to lie. I don't have any of my grandparents anymore. You know what I'm saying? I only ever knew my grandfather on my mom's side, and both of my grandparents on my father's side have passed away. I would do anything to see my great-grandmother, my 2 grandfathers, and my grandmother again. And this individual still had his, and he took him out of the paint. Make it make sense.
They say in that process, he also shot the neighbor's granddaughter who was calling 911. This is what first responders reported.
I got 2 bullet holes in the door. I have a 25-year-old female shot in the leg.
Terry French, a next door neighbor, tells me that young woman was his granddaughter. Terry, how is she doing? She's home from the hospital now.
She's home from the hospital, and she's doing well physically. Mentally, she's still upset about it.
Now, business, right? Getting back to business, right? Back to business. If you're around this type of situation, these type of situations spill over. As you can see, this individual, unfortunately, sadly, right, was being chased by his grandson. He got to the neighbor's house to attempt to call 911 as a result of being around, being friendly with, and being by this individual. A 25-year-old inside of the neighbor's house got shot. Yeah, shout out to DJ Elmo. I wouldn't disagree. And shout out to Carlton. I wouldn't disagree either. Shout out to Cameron. Cameron said, how y'all run him, bro? Have you seen the type of clothes that the YNs wear? If you guys have seen the type of clothes that the YNs wear, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't, give me a thumbs down. People no longer flex their muscles because they really don't have any. You know what I'm saying? They really don't have any, so they're probably not running too fast out here these days.
And he shot 6 times. Bam, 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 bam. Bullets flying all in my house with my family in it. I hope that they put him in jail for the rest of his life.
All right, good afternoon. I'm Judge Baker. Would you be able to state your name, please, sir?
Jeremiah Campbell.
Thank you very much. There's a warrant for your arrest. I can read the charges to you if you like. First, 2 counts, second degree.
Now, I want you guys to look at this. Can anybody think of any similar images to that? If anybody can think of any similar images to that, let me know what you think looks similar to that.
Your arrest. I can read the charges to you if you like. First, 2 counts, second degree murder. They're punishable by life.
He wanted.
Yeah. I wouldn't, if you guys agree with Cameron, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree with Cameron, give me a thumbs down. Yeah. Shout out to Carlton. Yeah. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Now, I think it's fascinating. You had a long period of time where people fought to get out of that image. And now you have a lot of people currently seeming like they're fighting to get back into that image. Does that make sense? It doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. Shout out to DJ Elmo. DJ Elmo says the mugshot looks like a demon. Yeah, facts. The mugshot looks like a demon, and the actual individual acts like one.
His grandfather dead.
And Terry, I think the big question still remains. Why would this young man want to allegedly kill his own grandparents?
That is a question I'm asking. I have no clue of why or what reason that young fella had or what they had over there that he wanted.
I checked.
Now you see now you see he was crying, right? Let's look. See, he's crying.
That young fella had or what.
Now, question. Is he crying because he misses his grandparents, which I don't understand how he could possibly cry if he's missing his grandparents because he's the one that took the grandparents out? Or is he crying because he got caught? Let me know.
They had over there that he wanted.
I checked with the sheriff's office, but it told me investigators still don't have a motive. During his first appearance at the county jail, Judge Michelle Baker denied Campbell a bond. In West Melbourne, Brevard County, I'm your community correspondent, James Sparvero, News 6.
I don't understand why he's crying. It doesn't make sense to me why he's crying. Yeah, shout out to DJ Elmo, bro. Facts. If you guys agree with DJ Elmo, he's crying because he got shot, because he got caught. Give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree and you think that he's crying for some other reason, give me a thumbs down. And again, I'm just trying to figure out, it's interesting, right? Why do you guys think that so many people aren't talking about this?
Accused of shooting and killing his elderly grandparents. It happened last night in West Melbourne. A neighbor was also shot when that grandfather ran next door to get help. Fox 35's Randy Hildreth is joining us live in that neighborhood. So, Randy, the neighbor survived, and you spoke with her family today.
Yeah, good evening to you, Luann. The family is thankful that she survived and is doing okay, but their hearts are with the victims, the White family. So Mr. George White lived here. They say he ran across the street to...
Interesting character distribution, isn't it? Shout out to AB Promotions. The neighbor's name was, shout out to Sybil, quote unquote, Mr. White. The irony is delectable.
Well, this man is accused of shooting and killing his elderly grandparents. It happened last night in West Melbourne. A neighbor was also shot when that grandfather ran next door to get help. Fox 35's Randy Hildreth is joining us live in that neighborhood. So, Randy, the neighbor survived, and you spoke with her family today.
Yeah, good evening to you, Luann. The family is thankful that she survived and is doing okay, but their hearts are with the victims, the White family. So Mr. George White lived here. They say he ran across the street to their front door.
Okay, never mind, quote unquote. I heard that wrong. The black people are the quote unquote white family, which is also still ironic, right?
Ringing it to get their attention and to get help. They say they brought him inside, called 911, and then bullets started flying.
There.
Terry French counted up the bullet holes in the front of his house off Washington Street.
There's 5 of them, 6 of them.
Recounting the chaos and tragedy of Wednesday night.
You just react.
He says his family was sitting in their front room when their neighbor, George White, showed up asking for help. His wife, Mary White, had just been shot, and deputies say their grandson, 22-year-old Jeremiah Campbell, was responsible.
And he was 22 years old. He's 22 years old. Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. Shout out to, if you guys agree with Cameron, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Cameron says if his grandfather outran him, he had another 20 years left in him. Yeah. Yeah, that adrenaline kicked in, and the elderly man was probably running. Probably left his walker behind, ran as fast as he could. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know, in recent times, recent being maybe the last day or two, right? And as always, I see a lot of videos on YouTube with a lot of people calling each other coons, throwing the coon word around. Have you guys seen any videos like that? If you guys have seen those videos, give me a thumbs up. If you have not, then give me a thumbs down. And this kind of thing right here, this is exactly what dilutes and makes the term coon irrelevant. Because what I'm trying to figure out is a lot of this stuff that we talk about on Crimecast. Why is it that these individuals are never called coons by name? Somebody explain to me how an individual that does something like this is not a coon. What positive comes out of this that improves society? None. What perpetuation of life and survival has anything that this individual done? None. How then is this individual not on the thumbnail of every video coming out on YouTube being called a coon? But there's people that have not engaged in the type of thing that he was engaged in. Massive amounts of videos calling these individuals a coon. Now, other individuals can make videos about these particular type of individuals who do this type of thing, right? And their channels grow and grow and grow and grow and grow and grow exponentially. They're thanking their subscribers. Oh, thank you. You know what I'm saying? We just hit 10,000 subs. Thank you. We just hit 20,000 subs. Thank you. I just hit 377 subs.
Grabbed George's arm and pulled him in, and then shut the door and locked it.
Friend says his daughter started dialing 911 and then bullets started flying into their house. Investigators say Campbell had come across the street for his grandfather next.
Bam, 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 bam. My son took off for the kitchen. My daughter took off for the laundry room. My granddaughter stood up and took off for the hall. That's when she got hit in the back of the leg.
Friend says he got down on the ground to crawl away and saw George get hit.
Right where you are. And he turned.
Shout out to DJ Elmo. DJ Elmo says, why is it these individuals aren't called a coon? Reality is many of our people do selective outrage to make them feel good, e.g. escapism. If you guys would agree with DJ Elmo, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. Yeah, I would say religion is a part of that. I would say religion is a part of that. 50 Cent said, if I can't do it, it can't be done. Some people say, if I can't do it, leave it to the Lord. There's no guarantee that it'll get done. Right?
And started heading to the hallway. That one there, one of them hit him in the back.
Friend says he's been neighbors with the Whites for over 30 years and now thinks a lot about the fact that George came over to him in his moment of terror. He says he's angry that their lives ended this way.
He's been such a good neighbor and a friend to me. And for anybody to want to kill him would just, I would like to know why.
And Campbell is being held with no bond. He is charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder, 1 count of attempted second-degree murder, and shooting into an occupied residence. Now, coming up new at 6, I'll tell you more about what we've learned about Campbell's background and the questions law enforcement officials still have as they comb through what happened yesterday. I'll send it back to you live tonight. Randy Hildreth, Fox 35 News.
Now, let me ask you guys this question. What would politicians say about that particular crime? What would politicians say about that particular crime? What do you think that they would say? Let's name some politicians, shall we? What would Donald Trump say about that? What would Ron DeSantis say about that? Right? Now, let me ask you guys this question. What is worse? What somebody like a Trump or a Ron DeSantis would say about that, or the fact that 2 elderly grandparents got taken up off the planet? Shout out to the Informant Media. Informant Media says that that's a good question. I think it's an obvious question. Now, the not so obvious question is, what would other people say about this video or about this situation? I think that most people wouldn't say anything about this situation because most people aren't talking about this situation, which is bizarre if you ask me, because like I said, it seems like delete the elderly people / delete your grandparents is becoming a trend. A 67-year-old man was killed in a dispute with a 16-year-old. What are they even disputing about against each other?
People don't value people's life anymore. 16-year-old, what you doing at somebody's place who you don't, who is not your relative, you're not your people. Why? I just don't understand.
Never mind.
Grieving friends and family asking for answers hours after a deadly dispute in Beltsville. Prince George's County Police say Neville Robinson died after he was struck by a car in front of his home here on Rhode Island Avenue in Garrett Thursday night. Investigators say a 16-year-old from Bowie was driving that vehicle, and according to detectives, the 67-year-old opened fire on the teen moments before he was hit.
We just hear pop, 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 like 4 shots go off.
This neighbor didn't want to show his face, but he had no problem sharing this video and describing the aftermath.
Not even a second later, I hear someone go like, and a car just speed off. I didn't think nothing of it. 5 minutes later, my brother comes. There's a lot of police outside. I came outside, and we saw one of our neighbors on the floor.
Another neighbor's doorbell cam recording as EMTs arrived just before 11 p.m. Police say Robinson had been involved in an ongoing dispute with the 16-year-old driver, and for some reason, the teen came to his home Thursday night.
You can see, like it seems like he having problem with the neighbors. Got all his door are smashed with eggs. Like they give his door a egg bath.
Now devastated friends like Christine are left wondering why. Police say they have located the teen driver, and they're working with the state's attorney's office to decide what's next. Friends and neighbors describe Robinson as kind, caring, and generous.
Your own Neville.
So I find it. Don't you guys find it interesting when it comes to the description that a lot of these neighbors have of these elderly individuals who are getting deleted? Not too much dirt is really coming out about these neighbors. Shout out to Tedra. I appreciate you, Tedra. Not too much dirt about these neighbors is coming out. They all seem to be quote unquote decent individuals. Let me ask you guys this question. How many times as we're watching these videos do you hear about individuals who would qualify as pieces of crap have something bad to happen to them?
He give you nothing but jokes. No, there's no dull moments about him. Very loving, generous person, jolly rally person. I don't know him as no evil person.
And again, this is an ongoing investigation. If you know anything that can help, call Prince George's County Police. In Beltsville, Walter Morris, News 4.
Well, no reward, no phone call. Right? No reward, no phone call. Because we don't work for free over here. Now, somebody else who was very popular. Nothing wrong with that, Tetra. No worries. Right? Someone else who was very popular did not get made great. This individual got made dead. There was a football coach in Atlanta. He was beloved. Okay? Take a wild guess where he's at right now.
Where a beloved youth football coach was shot and killed earlier today in a townhome off Schuyler Way. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Russ Spencer.
I'm Courtney Bryant. Police say they got the call around 2:30 this afternoon. Family has identified the victim as 33-year-old Aaron Hines. Fox Eyes' Eric Mott spoke to those who knew him well and joined us live from Washington Park, where he coached his team. Eric?
That's right, Courtney. Russ, you know, Washington Park is where he coached that 10 and 11-year-old team, the Georgia Rattlers. Everyone spoke so highly of him out here. In fact, there's a lot of people, teammate families, friends, family who are out here right now, you know, honoring him, reminiscing about him. And what's really tragic here is that the team was actually just starting practice here this evening when they got the horrible news. Lolita Perry says her son and his teammates were just ready to start football practice at Washington Park Thursday evening when she saw the terrible news about their coach in the team's Facebook group.
So finally, I reached out to one of the coaches, and when I found out that it's true, I'm devastated. Devastated. That's it.
Atlanta police say they responded to these townhomes on Schuyler Way at around 2:30 p.m. Thursday to find a 33-year-old man dead with a gunshot wound. They say it happened inside one of the homes. The family at the scene identified the victim as Aaron Hines.
There's a lot of heartbroken people here. He was a great man.
His cousin, who didn't want to be identified, told us Hines was a pillar in the West Atlanta community.
According to his cousin and according to a lot of these people that they have who are doing these interviews, there's not anybody trashing this guy. They said that he was a pillar in the West Atlanta community. So here's the question. How did the bullets find him? Why is it always the same story?
These townhomes on Schuyler Way at around 2:30 p.m. Thursday to find a 33-year-old man dead with a gunshot wound. They say it happened inside one of the homes. The family at the scene identified the victim as Aaron Hines.
There's a lot of heartbroken people here. He was a great man.
His cousin, who didn't want to be identified, told us Hines was a pillar in the West Atlanta community.
Now, let me ask you guys this question. What did you hear about? Did you hear about this youth coach being taken out, or did you hear about Glorilla having marijuana found at her home? Which one? Somebody let me know in the comment section.
And caretaker to many children there.
I loved him very deeply. He was a father figure to many young men in this city,
including Perry's son and all the other boys on the Rattlers team. Not only did Hines, or Coach Ball as they called him, lead this team to several championships, Perry says he was invested in these boys' lives.
He had a big impact in this community and with these children and with their families, not only with the kids, but with family. He was a coach that you called if your child was acting up in school. He was a coach that you called if your son wasn't listening to you.
Perry says there will be a huge hole left in the West Atlanta community from the loss of this beloved coach. His cousin says they can't understand why someone would want to take Coach Ball away from them.
Let me ask you guys this question. How many of you all understand why they would want to, quote unquote, take someone like this away? Let me ask you guys this question. This individual seems like he was pretty important to the people that he was around. Would you guys agree? But he's just not important enough to be talked about by YouTube content creators. He's just not important enough to be a household name. Why? But he was important enough to catch some bullets. Why? Let me ask you guys this question. Where is the value in any of this? Where is the value in being a community pillar? It seems like if you're a quote unquote community pillar, you only go out one way. Shout out to you, Law. What's good with it, bro? You only go out one way. Let me ask you guys this. Does that scream a community that's appreciative towards you? If that screams a community that's appreciative towards you, give me a thumbs up. If it doesn't, wouldn't tell me what it says.
We don't know what to think. What can we think? This is a major loss. What can I say? What can I say other than what can I say?
Yeah, it's just so hard for this family to understand why this happened. And right now, Atlanta police officers don't have too many answers. They did say they have some persons of interest they're looking at, but no real suspects to speak of yet. And we're continuing to follow this developing story and bring you those updates as soon as we have them. For now, reporting live in Atlanta, Eric Mock, Fox 5 News.
Yeah, sounds like he's left behind a big hole in that community. Eric, thanks. It wasn't the only shooting tonight in Atlanta. There was a second shooting at a Shell station on Memorial Drive. Authorities say they found
another gas station shooting. Another gas station shooting. Got to ask the question, what does shootings at gas stations do for revenues? How do you do business in a place where people are shooting at your place of business? Somebody help me out.
and shot. He later died. Officers say the suspected shooter, Tavares Williams, returned to the scene after the shooting. After a short foot chase, he was taken into custody.
And DeKalb police are investigating a shooting tonight. It happened in the 600 block of Watling Lane. Police have not released many details yet. We do know at least one person was seriously hurt.
We are learning new details about the shooting in DeKalb County that left a 5-year-old dead and his mother behind bars.
So in 2025, you got kids deleting grandparents and lots of parents deleting kids. Clearly, it's not an issue. Yeah, shout out to AB. He returned, right? And you'll find that with a lot of these situations. A crime has taken place, and then the perpetrator, the perp, goes back to the crime scene. Why? Why? Shout out to everybody watching. I appreciate you guys. If you all haven't smashed the like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit that bell. Also, please share the stream to your social media.
Lane. Police have not released many details yet. We do know at least one person was seriously hurt.
We are learning new details about the shooting in DeKalb County that left a 5-year-old dead and his mother behind bars. 25-year-old Anicia Bennett faced a judge this afternoon in her first court appearance. Police say the boy's twin found the gun in a purse and shot him. It happened yesterday afternoon at the Village at West.
Well, what do you guys think about that? Mother of the year. Another mother of the year. Now, here's my question. We got to ask the same line of questioning all the time. Maybe one of these days we'll get some answers. Out of everything we've seen so far, where was the looming puppet master that made these individuals do this stuff? Who made these individuals do this stuff? So if we can't figure out who, quote unquote, made these individuals do this, I think it's fair to ask the question, why did these individuals do this? And we still kind of don't really get answers about that either.
Bars. 25-year-old Anicia Bennett faced a judge this afternoon in her first court appearance. Police say the boy's twin found the gun in a purse and shot him. It happened yesterday afternoon at the Village at Wesley Chapel Apartments off Pleasant Point Drive. Arrest warrants state the twins were in the bedroom watching TV when one of them fired a single shot at the other, hitting him in the chest.
Let me ask you guys this question. Why would you keep a gun where a 5-year-old can get to it? Who made her do that? Let me ask you guys this question. Whose fault is it that one of her children is currently deceased? Could this have been prevented? How could it have been prevented?
We're charged with cruelty to children in the second degree. In addition, based upon that.
And here's the thing, right? If people don't know, if people can't answer, then that should be the answer as to why this stuff happens so many times, right? If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to Tedra. Tedra says, I hear about most of these stories when they're posted on your Discord. Yeah. Yeah. Now, when we talk about these stories that are on Crimecast, most of these stories aren't, quote unquote, blared all over the news, right? But people say these stories are, quote unquote, blared all over the news. Now, for the most part, it's restricted to local news, and that's really about it. So, you know, if it weren't for my mediocre YouTube channels, people wouldn't really have these compilations of local news. But people say that these things are, quote unquote, blared all over the news.
The state charged you with murder in the second degree.
Police say the gun was not locked or in a gun safe. Bennett will have to face a Superior Court judge at a later date who will decide if she can get bond.
Rapper Glorilla is facing drug charges tonight after police were called to investigate a burglary at her home in Forsyth County. Deputies said they found marijuana at the home during their investigation. Her attorneys called the arrest a disturbing window into how warped law enforcement priorities have become. She was previously arrested for DUI after a traffic stop in Gwinnett County last year.
Now, everybody knows about the Glorilla situation, but the first 42 minutes of the stream is all stuff that nobody knows about. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. What's up with Brooklyn Queen? What's good with it, Brooklyn Queen? Make sure y'all do what Brooklyn Queen said do. Help make the channel great. I think me personally, I got my own ideas of what's going on. How many people heard about this situation? In Tempe, there was an individual that was arrested for social media pranks. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to these social media pranks, and I want you to tell me what it is that you see going on here, okay?
Influencer is behind bars after his viral pranks caused chaos at several Valley businesses. Tempe police arrested 21-year-old Heston Cobb. He's known as
21-year-old Heston Cobb. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to 21-year-old Heston Cobb. And just as you're looking at this picture, tell me what you notice about this individual. 21-year-old Heston Cobb. Now, mind you, his people made him great. His people see far more value in him than my people see in me. Okay? This guy has close to 1 million subscribers on all of his social media. So we can establish that this individual is much more of a contribution to his society than I am mine. The data backs that up. This is an inarguable fact. Okay? Right? This is an inarguable fact. This individual has much more societal value than I have. He has much more content value than I have. This is an inarguable fact. Right? I'll tell you what else he has. This individual has more black people in his immediate vicinity, more black males in his immediate vicinity that listen to him and partake in his social media and what he does on social media than I have. Now, here's my explanation. Here's my question. Anybody have any type of explanation for that? Let me ask you guys this. Do you guys think that what they're doing is going around to businesses and showing people their financial gains on investments? No, they're not doing that. Because if they did that, then his social media content and his social media subscribers would look like how mine look. Because mine look the way that they do because people see the notification bell and they scroll past it to look for things like why Glorilla went to jail, why Glorilla has felony charges. The evidence is there. You know what I'm saying? If my social media engagement was like his, I would have millions of subscribers, but I don't. And when it comes to social media value, when it comes to social media currency, the value is in the engagement and subscribership. So this is inarguable, right? This is an inarguable fact. It's data. It just is what it is. Now, I want you to pay attention to what's going on here.
As Heston James on social media. He has more than 1 million followers on Instagram and TikTok. This is video of one of those pranks that Cobb put up on social media. It has since gone viral. Tempe police say that it shows him and a group of men going into a Tempe auto shop, and they're dressed up as employees, pretending to be them. Cobb then tells the group to begin working, and the men begin grabbing equipment and crawling underneath vehicles. You
notice anything about the guys who jump out of the van? And I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, but jumping out the van like the Jump Out Boys in a Castle Doctrine state like Arizona, I don't know if that's the smartest thing. I don't know if that's the smartest thing. Notice anything? Anybody notice anything? Don't worry, there'll be other chances.
One employee, see, that's what they do. They jump out of the van and then they just cause chaos.
There are more individuals willing to jump out of a van and cause chaos with this individual than there are individuals who are attempting to get rich. Let me ask you guys this question. Is the world correct? The world is correct. It's absolutely correct. It's correct at all times. Now, we got to ask the same questions that we ask all the time. Who made any of these individuals do any of this? Who made any of these individuals do any of this?
One employee screams to get out, but they just won't leave. They're just, again, just causing absolute chaos.
Now, let's ask the question. Are they trespassing? Shout out to John Guillory. What's good with it, bro? Are they, if these individuals are trespassing at this business, give me a thumbs up. If they are not trespassing at this business, then give me a thumbs down.
In another viral video, Cobb shows up at a Chipotle dressed as a worker. He tells employees he's bringing in a crew to, quote, clean house. And he tells the employees that, that they're all basically going to get fired, or they're going to be cleaning up basically cleaning this area up, apparently. And then the employees at the Chipotle called 911.
A lot of these prank videos may seem like fun and games. They garner millions of views, and these influencers get a lot of money for these views, but really they're affecting businesses, they're affecting people, they're affecting, the regular operations. So that's where things start to become criminal.
And so this is what's happening now. Cobb is facing several charges, including 5 counts of disorderly conduct. And
now, here's the thing, right? With all of his money that he made on social media, he'll easily be able to defend himself from these charges because his people made his paychecks great. right? So this is nothing. This is just a little minor hiccup. And then he'll be able to do videos about how he survived persecution and make even more money. Shout out to the youth for understanding how to create a cash cow. Right? So we're going to go back to that individual that decided to delete his grandparents, right? In the ongoing delete the elderly trend, right? And we're going to watch this guy cry. We're going to watch this guy cry because after he did what he did, he then has the nerve to get up in front of the judge and start crying. Shout out to the Informant Media. Informant Media said, I want to know what those checks look like and why Chipotle haven't sued TikTok. And probably the reason why is because they're probably looking at it like, even though this is an inconvenience, after seeing this Chipotle on the video, more people will want to come to this Chipotle because more people watch his videos than go to Chipotle. Probably. That's the only thing that I could think of. You know what I'm saying? I could be wrong. It's just an assumption. You know what I'm saying?
A man who's accused of killing both of his grandparents at their home in West Melbourne broke down in court today.
Thank you, deputies.
That is.
Now, I want to ask you guys this question. What do you guys think about this guy crying right here? What do you guys think about him crying? How many people feel sorry for this individual? If you feel sorry for this individual, give me a thumbs up. If you do not feel sorry for this individual, then give me a thumbs down. And shout out to everybody watching. I appreciate you guys. If you all have not smashed the like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit that bell. And also, please share the stream to your social media.
Down in court today.
Thank you, deputies.
That is our big story at 5:30. The suspect's family says that when they saw this mugshot behind us, they didn't even recognize him anymore.
He's also accused of shooting a neighbor. Fox 35's Randy Hildreth is live at the Brevard County Jail tonight. So, Randy, you found out that his grandfather was well known in that community.
Yeah, good evening.
So, do you see the price that you pay? The grandfather was, quote unquote, well known in the community. Remember when we watched the video earlier, you know, the neighbor didn't have anything negative to say about the grandfather. And again, what you see is that people who are, quote unquote, well known in the community, people who are pillars of their community, for some reason, the community keeps taking them out.
To you both, I spoke with his son late this afternoon. He says that his father had a life of service. He was a veteran, served in the Korean War. Later on in his life, he served this community, saying he served in many advocacy groups, including the NAACP.
2 counts, second-degree murder.
Standing before a judge shackled. The weight of 22-year-old Jeremiah Campbell's alleged crimes hit him like a ton of bricks.
100,000.
Campbell told the judge he didn't want a court-appointed attorney Friday before deputies wheeled him away.
Thank you, deputies.
Campbell is accused of killing his grandparents, 83-year-old George White and 81-year-old Mary White, and also shooting and injuring a neighbor that George had run to for help. As the community learned of the loss.
When I did get the message, I actually screamed.
Bishop Jacqueline Gordon knew the Whites through church, and George served with her nonviolence advocacy group called Pushback Community Alliance.
Reverend died his way with gun violence. The one thing that he fought against is just so overwhelming. It's so overwhelming.
Now, I don't know if, quote unquote, calling this gun violence is the right classification. I think when you call these kind of things, quote unquote, gun violence, you take away from the act of the individual because the gun didn't act alone. Let me ask you guys this question. In situations like this, how many times does the gun act alone? So we're going to turf this off to gun violence and it's just a shame, woo, 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 right? And I don't think so. I don't think so. Shout out to Alonzo. What's good with it, bro? I don't think so.
It's just so overwhelming. It's so overwhelming.
Campbell is being held with no bond for his grandparents' murder, and the community continues to pray for justice.
Anybody can be sorrowful after we speak. Or
now, again, let me ask you guys this question. They're praying for justice. Let me ask you guys this question. This individual was 84 years old, I believe, and the wife was 80 or 82, if I'm not mistaken. How often do you all think they prayed, and as they prayed, they asked for, quote unquote, protection from the Lord to help them, quote unquote, successfully make it through the day? You think they did that every day? If you guys think that they did that every day, give me a thumbs up. If you don't think that they did that every day, then give me a thumbs down. I do not disagree one bit, Tedra. I am 100% in agreement with you. If you guys agree with Tedra, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Tedra said, I'm tired of them blaming the violence on guns. People need to take responsibility for what they do. Facts. Super facts.
after we pull the trigger. But whoever pulled that trigger, I think, needs to face the consequences of that.
And the neighbor who was shot in this domestic violence incident has been released from the hospital and is recovering at home. Campbell is also charged with attempted second-degree murder and shooting into an occupied dwelling. Reporting tonight, Randy Hildreth, Fox 35 News.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous out here. Very much ridiculous. Let's see. All right. So now for people who are confused about the Diddy trial, because there's a lot of confusion about the Diddy trial, this is what people thought. Right? This is what people thought that Diddy was on trial for. Okay? This is what people thought that Diddy was on trial for. Diddy was not on trial for this. Okay? This looks different.
A verdict today in a disturbing case, the kidnapping and sexual assault of a woman on Detroit's East Side 3 years ago.
The defendant and the victim's friend from college claimed this was all consensual. Fox's Amy Lang has been following this trial. Joins us with the latest. Amy, he was found guilty on the more serious charges here.
Absolutely, Brandon and Taryn. The jury heard lurid and graphic testimony in the trial of Andrew Payne over the course of several days and then spent hours deliberating. Now they've spoken.
The jury has sent out a note indicating that they have reached a verdict.
Andrew Payne, accused of kidnapping, torture, and sexual assault, about to hear the jury's verdict. The judge with a warning for those gathered in court.
No outburst. I know this is a very emotional moment.
Over the course of a week, the jury heard disturbing details of a crime that happened in 2022. Allegations that Payne lured a college friend to his home on the East Side with the promise of a job interview with the pastor at the church across the street. But
the church. What y'all think so far?
Across the street. But the victim told jurors that when she arrived, she was led instead into Payne's dilapidated home, where she was subjected to multiple sexual assaults, too graphic to detail here.
What do you think the inside of this house looked like? What do you think the inside of this house? What do you guys think the inside of this house looks like? Yeah, disgusting. Shout out to John Guillory. Shout out to Cameron. Cameron said the inside of this house looked like Saw. Bro, facts. Look at the outside. The outside looks like I Know What You Did Last Summer. The inside looks like Saw.
Sexual assaults, too graphic to detail here.
I turned around and he has a gun in his hand. He said that
I would be his sex slave for a year. It is terrifying.
She testified after a couple of days she escaped through a second-story window. Payne, who took the stand in his own defense, said it was all consensual, all part of agreed-upon role play, and that the victim was angry because he didn't pay her.
Did you intentionally force yourself on her sexually?
No.
Did you intentionally keep her there against her will?
No.
Did you view this as like a money for sex situation?
Yes.
Payne facing 9 counts, the jury getting the case Monday afternoon, spending all of Tuesday deliberating, and coming back with this verdict Wednesday morning.
As to count 1.
Guilty of criminal sexual conduct in the first degree, multiple variables.
Guilty of 5 counts of first-degree criminal sexual conduct, but not the charge of torture.
As to count 6.
Not guilty.
As to count 7.
Guilty of kidnapping.
The jury also finding Payne guilty of assault with intent to do great bodily harm, but not guilty of assault with a dangerous weapon.
This matter is concluded. Everyone have a good day.
Payne will be sentenced August 1st and faces up to life in prison.
Man, he could face life in prison for that. He could face life in prison for that.
Now, I spoke with Payne's attorney by phone. He said they have to accept the jury's verdict for now, but Payne does have appellate rights available should he choose to pursue them down the line.
Look, Amy, we covered this case from start to finish here. Was it kind of a surprise that some of these charges, even the lesser charges, were not guilty?
I mean, I think it was a bit surprising, but, perhaps I'm just guessing here because that was not a real gun, so to speak. Maybe that is one reason they said, no on felonious assault. But, not being in there, it's hard. And I know that you've been on a jury and it's tough to make that call. They had to go through 9 different counts and agree, guilty, not guilty, guilty, not guilty. So, we don't know what went on in there, but we know they took their time.
Right. What about the victim in all of this stuff?
So she is still in therapy for all of this. We understand, obviously, the prosecutor is in touch with her. And then in August 1st, actually, when he is sentenced, that's when the victim will have an opportunity to make a statement again in court.
That'll be powerful.
See what she has to say.
Thanks, Amy.
What do you guys think about that?
If you're
What do you guys think about that? Crazy, right? All right. We got 2 more things. 2 more things. And take a look at this real quick. Shout out to everybody watching. I appreciate you guys. If you all haven't smashed the like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you have not hit the bell, please take a moment, hit that bell. And also, please share the stream to your social media. I mean, it's just bizarre. It's just wild. It's just wild all the way around.
Breaking tonight, more than a year after 93-year-old Geraldine Harris was shot and killed inside.
Now, you guys remember, we talked about this one earlier. Okay, we talked about this one earlier. They caught the suspect.
Breaking tonight, more than a year after 93-year-old Geraldine Harris was shot and killed inside of her Memphis home. The suspect is in custody. Good evening, and thank you for joining us for the news at 6. I'm Stephanie Skurlock.
And I'm Greg Hurst. This capture comes less than 12 hours after your news leader spoke with her family. Her son voicing their frustration with police for not arresting Darian Taylor despite the warrant out for his arrest. WRG's Harrison Klopp joins us now live. And Harrison, I know you caught up with Geraldine's son. We know he's still grieving the loss, but how is he feeling about the arrest?
Greg, Stephanie, good evening. Ron Harris is happy to see the suspect off the street, but he thinks the city of Memphis still has a lot of work to do.
I was relieved. I was very relieved. My sister-in-law called me. My sister-in-law, who was actually shot and wounded, Memphis school teacher, called me and told me that he had been arrested. So we were very pleased that that happened.
Ron Harris describing emotions he felt this morning after learning his mother's killer, Darian Taylor, was arrested this morning.
We don't feel justice yet.
Now, again, I got to ask you guys this question. Does anybody understand how, for one, anybody could be a victim of a crime like this, but a 93-year-old woman? I mean, I don't understand.
We don't feel justice until this case runs its course. And unfortunately for this kid, he's got to be taken off the street. And I want him taken off the street. He is a danger.
Harris says he would like the city of Memphis to step up and fix systematic problems happening with juvenile crime. Darian Taylor was just 17 years old when he allegedly killed Geraldine in a shooting that also left 2 of Harris's other family members critically injured.
And at some point, Darian Taylor is going to get out of prison. If he gets a long prison sentence, he is going to get out. And then what are we going to have? And I don't want to see another family go through what my family's going through.
And WRG's Brian Didlake will have more tonight on Taylor's surprising criminal history. From downtown Memphis, I'm Harrison Clough, your news leader, WREG News Channel 3.
Somebody make this make sense. You know what I'm saying? Somebody make this make sense. Now, this is recent. A Florida mom reported her ex for stalking, right? Got to ask the question. This is a simp crime, right? So, stalking is a simp crime. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. Stalking is a simp crime. This individual stalked his ex and then deleted her. Okay. So let's see what's going on here.
Of domestic violence are told to speak up, document everything. But for one Belle Glade mother, even that wasn't enough. Tonight, we're uncovering how her death fits into a larger deadly pattern and why advocates say the system is still falling short. CBS 12's Katie Benty joins us live in the newsroom with that story. Katie?
Liz, Shantae Butts told deputies she was being stalked. She had the video. She filed reports, and just days later, she was shot dead in her home. Shantae Butts was a mother of 4, shot and killed inside her Belle Glade home last week. Deputies say it was her son who called 911. The man accused of murdering her, Little Mac Williams, her ex, and the father of her children.
Dude's name was Little Mac. Shout out to the ladies in the chat. Shout out to the ladies in the chat. How many of the ladies in the chat would date somebody named Little Mac? If you would date somebody named Little Mac, give me a thumbs up. If you would not, give me a thumbs down. Not even a Big Mac, you Little Mac.
Shot and killed inside her Belle Glade home last week. Deputies say it was her son who called 911. The man accused of murdering her, Little Mac Williams, her ex, and
Little Mac Williams is wild. Shout out to Alpha Male Pimp Network. Alpha Male Pimp Network says the guy stalking his ex is Crimecast Simp story of the day. Yeah. Who's busting it open for Little Mac? Shout out to Tedra. Tedra says, my mother told me about this story. She lives in Belle Glade. This is sad.
the father of her children. Investigators say he also shot her current boyfriend who survived. Court records reveal a decade of abuse across multiple relationships. In 2024, Williams broke into Butts' home, choked her, and took her phone. He was convicted, ordered to stay away, but he came back. Please leave. She posted this video to Facebook of what appears to be Williams waiting at her job. Please leave my job. I have to go. She told deputies he later stole her gun. Then there's this, a log showing Williams on her doorbell camera more than 20 times in one night.
Now, I want to ask you guys this question. Why was nothing done about this is the question. How does something like this last as long as it lasted? That's my question for you guys. Let me know what you guys think.
If law enforcement's being called, it's something's going on. There's something major that's happened.
On July 5th, deputies issued a warrant for stalking, but he wasn't arrested.
Right. Shout out to John. That's what I'm saying. John said, that's wild. This is the dude she chose to have kids with. Yeah. I mean, And the thing is you have kids with somebody like this. Now you've got to deal with them at the very least until the kids are completely grown up. You know what I'm saying?
Arrested. 6 days later, she was dead.
I mean, the homicide rate is high, especially when someone's trying to leave that abusive situation. That's when they're at the.
Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said some dudes, when they get a pretty woman, they lose their mind. If you guys agree with Carlton, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to DJ Elmo. DJ Elmo said, Little Mac, the victim made a poor choice in partnering with him. Many women love that bad boy persona, but cases like this show the reality. Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. If you guys agree with DJ Elmo, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down.
Highest risk.
Advocates say survivors often do everything right and still don't make it out.
Safety planning, escape planning, all that's happening right from the minute that we get that phone call.
And it's not just Butts' case. In 2023, a Boynton Beach woman was murdered less than an hour after filing a police report about her ex. Williams is now behind bars, charged with murder, attempted murder, and being a felon in possession of a firearm. But advocates say it's too late for Shantae Butts, and unless something changes, more survivors will die asking for help. Reporting live in the newsroom, I'm Katie Benti, CBS 12 News.
Now, let me ask you guys this question. If this woman was a member of your family, how would you deal with that? How would you deal with that? Now, there's an individual that just recently passed away in prison. Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said Little Mac was a video game character from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Bro, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Now, we're going to look at this California man, all right? This California man committed simp crimes too. He dismembered his wife. Okay? He dismembered his wife and deleted his in-laws. Okay? Now again, right? No one's talking about it. People aren't really concerned with this stuff like they claim that they are. Just make no mistake of that. Make no mistake. The algorithms on social media do not lie. They do not lie at all.
Son of a Hollywood heavyweight awaiting trial for killing and dismembering his wife and murdering her parents is dead.
A 37-year-old Samuel Haskell IV was found dead in his cell. It's presumed to be a suicide. Rachel Menitoff is live in the newsroom now with a dramatic end to his story. Rachel?
Rick Scher Haskell was scheduled to appear for a preliminary hearing today. If convicted, he faced up to life in prison without parole. Now his death means on a criminal level, this case is over.
Like my resume says, unhappy, bitter, resentful.
Samuel Haskell, the son of a top Hollywood executive, found dead inside his jail cell at LA's Twin Tower Correctional Facility early Saturday morning by suicide. The 37-year-old was charged with killing and dismembering his wife and in-laws inside their Tarzana home in 2023. LA County District Attorney Nathan Hochman says the defendant evaded justice and robbed the victim's family of their day in court.
But Mr. Haskell never, ever volunteered what happened and where he put the body parts of the three individuals he brutally killed, nor has he ever provided a full explanation as to why he did it.
The three family members were last seen alive on November 6, 2023. A day later, the husband and father of three is said to have hired day laborers to dispose of trash bags containing their body parts. The men were told the bags contained rocks, and when they looked inside, they saw the remains, brought them back to the house, and called police. But when authorities arrived, all evidence was gone. They zeroed in on Haskell after a man scavenging for recyclables found a human torso in an Encino dumpster. Investigators believe this was his wife May's body, but her parents were never found.
Hey, finding a torso in a dumpster while looking for recyclables is crazy.
Hochman says investigators found machetes, cutting saws, knives, a .357 firearm, and blood all over Haskell's home.
Well, the effort to find the bodies of Mr. Haskell's in-laws will never stop until they're found. The likelihood, though, of finding them almost a year and a half after they were killed goes down every day.
Haskell was charged with 3 counts of murder. He pleaded not guilty and was being held without bond before his trial.
So this was a very strong case for the prosecution, one where they were certain they were going to get a conviction.
Retired FBI agent Bobby Chacon, who has reviewed the evidence in this case, says the defendant began plotting a month before the murders and seemed to have a getaway plan.
So he was planning on murdering these people, getting rid of their bodies at least long enough to make his escape to Japan. And, it's pretty clear that that's what happened. And but for the intervention of those
he was gonna move. He was gonna go move around some Asian people after he just murdered a bunch of Asian people. That's interesting. Now, let me ask you guys this question. What do you think is the motivation behind that?
laborers that did the right thing, he might have gotten away with it.
And a suicide note was apparently found. The DA says he hasn't had a chance to review it, but was told it does not provide a motive or the location of the remains. We did hear back today from Haskell's attorney, who says this case has always been about a father who would do anything to protect his children. He says the general public doesn't really know Samuel Haskell, that he was denied dignity, was paraded around in court, and this created unfair speculation about his personality and character. We're live in the news center. I'm Rachel Menitoff. Cher, back to you.
Interesting. Now, guess what? Guess what? Another beloved. Oh, here's a good one. Here's the good one. I thought that we were gonna do this one. We are gonna do these next two. We are gonna do these next two. Actually, we're gonna do these next three. Because like I said, we got to figure out if this is a social media trend. We got to figure out if this is a social media trend or not. A mother's boyfriend deleted her baby. Okay. A mother's boyfriend deleted her baby.
30, the grandmother of an infant killed in Homewood last week is speaking out for the first time about her family.
Now, who would kill this baby? Look at this baby. Look at that little baby.
Right now at 5:30, the grandmother of an infant killed in Homewood last week is speaking out for the first time about her family's heartbreak and their quest for justice. Police say the man entrusted to care for 10-month-old Nijor Matthews while his mom stepped away to run some errands is responsible for his death. America Stanish.
And I'm Ken Rice. KDK's Shelley Board sat down with the grandmother. It's a story you'll see only on KDKA.
They were doing their best to be great parents to that little boy. And I just feel so bad that that opportunity was ripped from them.
Nijor Matthews was the light of his family's lives. In his short 10 months of life, they say he impacted them in ways they could have never imagined. They called him their angel on earth.
He was such a little gift. He was so precious. He was really a gift from God.
Nijor's grandmother says they were planning his first birthday party next month. Now they're forced to plan his funeral. The man police say is responsible for that, 18-year-old Dominic Pinnock.
Thoughts?
The baby's mother's boyfriend of 8 months.
What do you guys think? Now, shout out to the Informant Media. The Informant Media says that mugshot says it all. This mugshot is also the face that the mother fell in love with. Shout out to Cameron and shout out to John. John says, "Why was a man babysitting?" John says he looks like a trustworthy fellow. Right? Like you could trust him to do exactly what he did. Right? John says, "Why in God's name is an 18-year-old who is not the child's father watching the kid?" Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to Cameron. Cameron said that's why she wanted him. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it.
He allegedly told investigators he got frustrated when Nijour wouldn't stop crying, so he hit his head on the wooden bedpost.
So that's now. Is that how you? Is that? I wonder if that's how this guy dealt with all frustration that he's ever dealt with. So when you're frustrated, you just bang the head of your source of frustration on the bedpost, and that's how you deal with it. Okay, I guess.
8 months. He allegedly told investigators he got frustrated when Nijour wouldn't stop crying, so he hit his head on the wooden bedpost several times.
That thing so bad. And it wasn't his time to go. It's not fair.
Where do you think he learned to deal with problems like that? Where do you guys think that he learned to deal with problems like that?
It's not fair.
Both the baby's aunt, Taylor Matthews, and his grandmother say they got bad vibes from Pinnock and even vocalized that to his mother.
So I guess that just answers Tedra's. That just answers Tedra's question. Tedra says the mother didn't see the red flags. I'm pretty sure there were plenty of them. Looks like the other women in the family did.
But she loved and trusted him.
She loved and trusted him.
Baby's aunt, Taylor Matthews, and his grandmother say they got bad vibes from Pinnock and even vocalized that to his mother, but she loved and trusted him.
What do you think she loved and trusted about him?
In addition, they say he had been alone with Nijour before and seemed to truly care for him.
To be honest, my fear was he was going to harm my daughter. I never in a million years thought he would harm my grandson.
Nijour's family say they are leaning on one another to push through the tragedy and say, well, Nijour's birth brought this family together. His death is strengthening the bond even more.
I'm just praying for his soul. But, justice will be served and vengeance will be mine, saith the Lord. So we're leaving it in God's hands.
The family will hold a...
We're leaving it in God's hands. Programmable people. Programmable people. We're leaving it in God's hands. There it is. There it is. We just talked about that earlier.
We're leaving it in God's hands.
What do you guys think?
The family will hold a private memorial service in the coming days and a public balloon release next month.
I just look at it as he was.
Look at that baby, man. How could you even think to do something harmful to that beautiful little boy? It's beyond me. Look at him. Look at those cheeks.
too good for this world. He didn't have to live it. He had a fast pass to heaven. And now we just got to do what we need to do to meet him there.
Pinnock is being held without bail in the Allegheny County Jail. He's due in court next week. Reporting outside of Pittsburgh Police Headquarters, Shelley Bortz, KDKA TV News.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we will definitely be doing some more Crimecast tomorrow because people just won't stop. They just won't stop. You know what I'm saying? And I have no idea. I don't know. I have no idea how to gauge where people are at on this stuff. And one of the reasons why you have no idea how to gauge where people are at on this stuff is because people don't talk about it. But then when they hear other people talk about it, they're doing backflips. Somebody make it make sense. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button. Share this video out to all of your followers. And as always, ladies and gentlemen,
this year, jump out the crib, stack up my C-note this year, killing my ego this year, all for the people this year, only believe in the real, I do believe in no fear, and I got gang in this bitch, I never switch on the tribe, I keep it all the way real, I'm in control of my feels, you see my highlights and study my real, yeah. I'm showing more love this year, running more plays, finna scale up my business this year, the world in my palm, I'm a star, I deliver my cadence, I'm serving up chills to my peers, bringing the bread for the fam, everything good on the side, everything coming together. New whip, no leash, no key in it, they heat it. California on the plate, I'm out here playing for keeping. I pull up, she leaking, she want me for the weekend. My foot on the gas with the brakes, hate me or love me, you see me. Flex, yes, I got my foot on their neck. I'm out with a squad to the death, young nigga get to the checks. Flex, yes, got nothing to lose and something to prove. Young nigga come from the trench. Cuban links on my neck, tanking, freeze, smoking on dope, that diesel, freeze, running till I miss my season, laid back, geeking, smoking on dope, that diesel, young nigga gone off the deep end, running till I miss my season, I keep a stack of them blessings, I'm ballin', I'm play callin', it ain't on me matching my smile, you know that I stay saucing, wrist flooded, she drowning. We good on this side, everything coming together. New whip, no leash, no key in it, they heat it. California on the plates, I'm out here playing for keeping. I pull up, she leaking, she want me for the weekend. My foot on the gas with the brakes, hate me or love me, you see me. Flex, yes, I got my foot on their neck. I'm out with a squad to the death, young nigga get to the checks. Flex, yes, got nothing to lose and something to prove. Young nigga come from the trench. Cuban links on my neck, tanking, freeze, smoking on dope, that diesel. Freeze, running till I miss my season. Laid back, geeking, smoking on dope, that diesel. Young nigga gone off the deep end, running till I miss my season.
Once we understand that it is through our five senses that these imprints are being made on our subconscious mind, we can then consciously begin to utilize our five senses to imprint something different.